What's going on, folks? I hope everything is well. This is Coach Spencer from New York Cup basketball tournaments. What's up, Ed? I see you. Just waiting for Coach to get up in here. Tone, what's going on, brother? How's everything? Right now, get a little music, but we're going to get a few people. Check it in. I see you. Kylie, what's going on? SSA basketball. What's happening? Start a little something for the moment. We have Omar Morales coming up in here from Ulster Community College. I got music playing in the background. One of my favorite artists, Rakim. And we're going to get a little knowledge on the Ulster community from him and see what's happening over there. Ulster just checked in, so now we're just waiting for him to come on in. Coach Mo, I see you. I did the Rakim thing today. Every day we're going to have something different. I don't know what Mo's going to do later. Mo's coming on at 8 o'clock. And whoever's on this live, you're going to stay and follow up Mo. So you got to give him a little surprise. Yes. This is how we're going to rock it. Wait for Ulster, for Omar to come on in. Coach Omar Morales. Yeah, you got it, Mo. Got to find something. Every day we're going to do something different. That's what's going to separate us from everybody else. We're going to keep giving them something different. Start off and have fun. So now, a couple minutes behind, but just waiting for the connection from Coach Omar. But it's not a bad thing. You listen to Rakim. That's all. Hope everybody's having a great day. It's Friday. Be safe. You know what I'm saying? Be safe. Enjoy yourself. But be safe. If you're stepping out, have fun, but be safe. I can't emphasize that anymore. Swift, I see you. That's good. All right, so for some reason, I'm going to have to request some standby folks, because I'm going to get them. And there he goes.
Hey, Coach.
What's up, Coach Omar? How you doing?
Good. How's everything?
I am well. Got you sideways for the second.
Oh.
Like you're laying down.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to figure this out.
No worries. We just had a little Rakim playing in the background. How you doing?
Nice. Good, man. Good. I'm hanging in there, man. There's been some tough times, but, we're getting through it.
This is true. How's the pandemic affecting you and your family right now? Forget sports. How's the family issue?
To be honest, man, it's a blessing in disguise for my family personally. I haven't been affected. God bless. Fortunately, I haven't personally been affected. But for us, we just get to spend a tremendous amount of time together.
Good.
My wife is around. She's not teaching. She's home. The kids aren't at school, so we have plenty of time to get outside and just enjoy nature. I'm fortunate to be where I am. We just have a ton of opportunities to get outside and just kind of spend some time together. Yeah, we got a community garden not too far from the house, so we got a plot this year. So I'm trying to test my vegetable growing skills.
Hey, be careful. Enjoy it.
Just getting outside, man. Just really trying to enjoy the time that we have together.
So your wife is a school teacher also? Mine is too.
Yeah, she's out in Brewster. She teaches math out in Brewster High School.
So she's not working? She's not at home working until 9, 10 o'clock at night?
Nah, she's working. Don't get it. She's working. When I wake up,
I know mine is.
My daughters and my wife, they look like they're at the kitchen playing Battleship. They got their little computers open. They all just sitting around putting work in the morning. So I try to get them out from away from the screens as much as I can and just get them outside when I can.
That's good. Well, I got a few people that came in, and I wanted to make sure we had give them a little leeway for some more to come in. But
perfect.
What I want to do, this is the first time you and I actually conversing with each other.
Yes.
I know you and Coach Mo went back and forth a couple times. That's how we set this up. But I want introduce yourself to not only me but to everyone else.
Sure. My name's Omar Morales.
Mm-hmm.
The women's head coach at SUNY Ulster.
Okay.
First and foremost, I'm a father. I have a beautiful family. My oldest daughter is just about to be 12. My youngest daughter is 10, and I have a
Okay.
4-year-old. So that's kind of where I start. I'm an
Not bad.
alumni of SUNY Ulster. Transferred
Okay.
transferred over from Ulster to
Mm-hmm.
SUNY New Paltz, which is where I live and where I've grown up. It's I've been in the Hudson Valley pretty much my whole life.
Okay. So
You
so
know,
you a
it's
SUNY kid. You just went through it. It's no one can tell you anything negative about going to a SUNY school.
Nah,
Basically.
man, and it goes further than that. My parents both grew up in the Bronx. They both came up to SUNY New Paltz in the early '70s.
Uh-huh.
Just really enjoyed the area.
Nice.
And kind of set up shop. And I'm fortunate enough to have grown up in this area, and they've since moved away, but I've
Okay.
stayed here,
It's not bad.
in New Paltz. Yeah.
Not bad at all. So now the family and all that, that's great. Now as a coach
Yeah.
at Ulster, now what makes me want to come up to Ulster County?
I think the opportunity, the program, we're trying to get the program rolling. To be honest
Okay.
with you,
Mm-hmm.
it had been dormant for a number of years. This is going into my second season.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a ton of opportunity. I think, first and foremost, I think Ulster is a great school.
Mm-hmm.
In my interview, I told the athletic director, listen, I'll be praising Ulster in terms of the resources and the opportunities that they provide
Right.
educationally, whether you guys give me a job or not. So, it's something that I think that the school boasts, a tremendous amount of resources on campus for students.
Mm-hmm.
They've recently been ranked in a bunch of different polls, but number one in the bestcolleges.com poll in New York State junior colleges.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
there's just a tremendous amount of programs and resources that the school provides that'll get you prepared for the next step. I came to Ulster as a student that wasn't really, polished. I really wasn't ready for a 4-year school. So it got me, it got me ready. It got me
Okay.
prepared academically to step up for the challenges that that you're going to face when you look to transfer.
Okay. So now with that, it's like, okay, what type of players are you looking for? You say you're trying to take it to another level. What players are you looking for your program right now?
I'm really looking for some young ladies that are committed. I love my team last year.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my girls were just kind of just kind of had a little bit of distractions. Whether it was
Okay.
work or life. So I'm looking for girls that are coming in and really looking to focus on on basketball and really make
Okay.
that a priority.
Is it
I'm
2 year
looking.
school or 4 year?
It's a 2-year school. It's a
Okay.
2-year school. So one of the things that that I do when when a student comes in, and again, this is kind of new to me, but is to try to lay down a roadmap, something
Okay.
that we can say, we can kind of nail down what your goals are, both academically and athletically, and then
Gotcha. Gotcha.
try to build a roadmap so that we can make sure we get you where you want to go. That
Okay.
we're trying to get you, even though we're getting you in the door, we're trying to get you back out the door, in a way that's preparing you for your next step, and also, I think I'm trying to do that with incurring the least amount of debt. I think that that's something
Gotcha.
that students don't really get spoken to too much about. It's just the cost and trying to navigate the college landscape. you know,
But a lot
whether
of kids
it's
don't get that part. They don't understand that part that you're saying right there.
they
Like
don't.
Coach Mo just basically said about we're helping the D2 and D3 schools get this platform, giving them a platform so they could talk to some of those kids who I only want to go to UConn, I only want to go to South Carolina, university. I'm like, stop. There's a whole lot right nearby. How far are you from the Bronx and New York and,
So
and
from
and Brooklyn and everything?
from the Bronx, we're about an hour and 40
Okay.
minutes or so. So take 87 up to exit 18, which is New Paltz, and
Yeah. Yeah.
from the New Paltz exit, we're like 15, 20 minutes.
Not bad.
So it's what I'd say about Ulster is the proximity to the city
Right.
is great because you're not, the bus. I live a block from the bus station. The bus will take you to Penn Station. You could take the bus to Poughkeepsie and get on the Metro North and be at Grand
Wow.
Central. So it's affordable and it's quick. I mean, from the bus station to Penn Station, it's like an hour and 20 minutes. So
Yeah. Right.
it's not
Right.
a ton of time.
It was a
You
great
know,
ride, great easy ride.
it is. It is. You might see me looking over tomorrow. I prepared a couple of notes that I just,
No,
you
that's
know,
fine.
I'm gonna be trying to touch base and cram it all in what you got.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. You do what you gotta do. That look again. That's what Coach Mo and I did. This we did this platform to let you come out and say whatever you got to
Oh
say. That's
man,
everybody.
I
You
appreciate it,
know,
man. I've loved the series so far. Checking out a bunch of the coaches,
we appreciate it. Thank
the
you.
referees, the trainers. It's been a great series of interviews.
Yeah, it's
I
just the
really,
beginning.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's just the beginning. Now let me ask you,
Yes.
with your recruiting,
Yes.
right? How when obviously you're an hour and a half, hour and change away. Are you coming down to the city, or are you going north? You going where are you going to get your players?
I have to try to emulate some of the programs that have some success.
Right.
I look over to Sullivan. That's one of our, one of the
Okay.
teams that's in our conference. And they've had extended success. And so you try to emulate some of the things that they're doing. Unfortunately, with this pandemic, it's definitely taken a bite into,
Yeah.
some of the plans that I've had, and I'm
Of course.
sure a bunch of coaches have had in terms of recruiting. But
Hmm.
yeah, I have to tap into those resources. I have to get down into the city.
That makes sense.
And really, and so that's really what I've been trying to do is just reach out, connect with coaches,
Hmm.
just kind of, explain explain the situation, explain that there's opportunity for, I think, one of the benefits of our program is that
Right.
there's a chance to really leave your stamp. You can
Sure.
come and, you're not, there's a good chance you'll earn some time right away. You're
Right.
not gonna,
Right. Right.
and so some of the cons of our program, you can kind of spin them and turn them into pros. So we
Sure.
haven't been established. We're looking for a all-time leading scorer. We're looking for somebody who wants to come
Okay.
and kind of put their stamp on things here. And we're moving in the right direction.
Well, let
This
me tell
year.
you something. Coach Mike Lloyd of ML Gators over at Brooklyn Law and Tech. He's telling you you're welcome to come down there
Yes.
anytime.
Yes, I reached out to him, man. I've been following him on the gram. It's just building those relationships and
Yes. Yep.
building like a trust, a feeling where, a coach can say, I'm going to send my student athlete up there, and I know that, A, they're going to be looked after, B, they're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
set on the track that's going to lead them to some success, and prepare them for the next step, the next phase in their life.
Do you have how many returning players do you have coming back?
We got four or five returning players, and we got about 5 girls coming in. We're still looking for 3, 4, 5 girls that
Okay.
we got open enrollment. We can make it happen.
Oh, good.
If any coaches out there or players listening that may be interested in Ulster, shoot me a message. We'll get the ball
Give your
started.
email. Give
for
your
sure.
email right now. Say it.
Morales, MORALESO, at sunyulster.edu.
Not a problem. And we'll make sure we put that out again too.
Appreciate that.
And of course, This is all this is about. You got a bunch of coaches. Linda Day checking in, Coach Mo's checking in, Coach Mike checking in, Coach Chaz. And Chaz said he broke some records up there in Ulster County.
Nice.
You know,
nice.
So yeah, this is the reason why we do this. You know,
the tuition is really affordable.
Okay, good.
Some of the things I'll just run off real quick. We have some great programs, the vet tech programs, computer science program. Our nursing program is tremendously competitive, but it really produces some top-notch nurses. We have a beautiful campus. I think one of the downsides, I mean, again, this is a plus and a minus. So we don't have dorms.
Okay.
Our student athletes typically reside just off the campus of SUNY New Paltz and off-campus housing there. So it's a college setting. You're in it's an apartment complex, but it's all SUNY New Paltz students. That we have some of our men's basketball players, our men's soccer players are staying there, and it's about 15 minutes from campus. There's a shuttle bus that transports students back and forth.
Okay.
Most of the kids end up commuting with classmates or teammates. But you'll get so one of the pros, I think, is that you'll get that college experience at the community college cost. So, you might pay roughly around the same in terms of housing, room and board than you would at a college, but some of the colleges you're paying a lot of money for that meal plan. Sometimes that meal plan really isn't quality. So
trust me, I know.
I try to spin some of the question marks, I guess you could say, about our program or around our program, in a positive light. So
so far it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. Have you always coached women, girls, women?
I haven't. I guess you could say I have. I started coaching. I started coaching my daughters. And their clinics.
It usually starts off like that too.
New Paltz Youth Basketball Program. Shout out to the YBA. Had me running a bunch of 3rd and 4th, 5th grade clinics, coaching some of those teams.
Is that an AAU program or just the basic rec?
No, it's a local rec program.
Okay.
This area's put out some good ball players. It just hasn't been consistent. And so one of the things I'm hoping to try to do is, inspire some young ladies to get involved in coaching and to get involved in their community and really start to build some of these programs so that it can be just a little more competitive up here.
That makes sense.
Some consistently competitive. We get some good players from time to time rolling through, and you just like to see that a little more often.
Good. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Now, you said you started off coaching your daughters. Yes. How long ago? How long is this?
Yeah, to be honest, on paper, you really wouldn't look at anything and say, man, this guy's got, he's qualified on paper. Fortunately for me, I had relationship with some of the people in the athletic department, and they've known my competitive nature. They've either played with me or ref me as a player, and kind of had a sense. And one of the things I think that that kind of helped me a little bit is I just communicated to the AD, and I communicated through my interview process. I think that that I'm a people person, and I'm going to try to control the flow and really manage egos. And sometimes when you say that, manage egos, you automatically think like the person who's thinks they're great, thinks they're fantastic. And conversely, I think, and what I've found is that managing some of the egos is like trying to bring more out of the girls I'm working with, and it's encouraging them to take a leadership role, and to to really kind of just stick their chest out and get involved and get into it. And
you only got a short window to actually work with them, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely.
Okay.
So
So you got to move quick.
a lot of it is, we're obviously looking to focus on basketball. We're working on our skills, but we're learning some life stuff. We're dealing with adversity. We're trying to navigate a lot of these things. So when I got into the job, your thought process is that it's, all right, we're coaching basketball, we're doing,
Right.
there
So much
basketball is
politics. Yes.
basketball is a large chunk of it, but there's a lot of other aspects
Yes.
that I've come to realize that, and some of which I need to work on, and and just it's in progress. We're all
Now,
learning.
was that a frightful surprise or pleasant surprise when you found out all the extra stuff besides just being a basketball coach?
Oh man, I mean, some of it is I don't know that I saw that coming. I predominantly have
Okay.
been working with a lot of younger student athletes, younger kids,
Right.
and so you get to that college level, and there's just there's added layers. There's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's stuff that you may have not experienced or went through,
Right.
and you're just trying to do your best to really be a counselor and somebody who can and give these young ladies some advice and just sometimes even just an ear, just being an
That's
ear
true.
to listen to. So
That's true. Now, with basketball, with this season, since you're a 2-year school,
yes.
usually I would have asked, what's your plan for the next 2 years, next 3 years? So, but really, since this pandemic kind of took this season away, you're really looking at 21
Yeah.
for next year. I mean, you have some players coming in, but are you looking to that now?
Yeah, the 21s, to be honest, I feel like I'm in better shape for that season. Just in terms of the connections, sometimes you talk to a coach, I don't have anybody for you this year, but next year, I got a player I think could be a good fit for you. So I think just the way that kind of played out, I think, I'm looking forward to the 21 season, but, we'll see how this goes. We'll
True.
see, keep our fingers crossed, see what
So
happens.
we don't know what's going to happen come August and September.
Yeah.
We really don't have a clue. I
Yeah.
know usually, Coach Mo and I, we have the New York Cup tournament somewhere in the fall, in the spring and the summer, but now we're going to look at the fall part. We don't know what's going to happen because, all summer stuff is shut. So it's not like you could do any recruiting, which I know around that May-April window, you would have already done April-May, April window.
I was going down to a showcase down in South Florida, some connections down there, and they had I think it was called the Orange Bowl. And I was really looking forward to that. I had been in contact with some players that were going to be there, and I was hoping to try to get down there. Unfortunately, all this stuff kind of took place right as that was going to get going, so that kind of got put on the shelf. But we're trying to stay positive, man. We're trying to look at the silver linings and keep the ball rolling. I just found a court with that they didn't take the rims off of yet. So I snuck up there yesterday, got some shots up. It felt great.
There you go.
It felt great. So
see the disadvantage here in New York, we're in the Bronx, and it's like, okay, all the rims are gone.
All the rims are gone.
Yeah,
I hit you on the low and let you know where that.
No problem. No problem. So now we know, since we know spring and summer is actually gone for the moment, right? Are you very? I mean, since you're with women's basketball, are you very supportive of women in basketball? Besides just the player, the coach, the ref, the assistant coach, everything.
Yeah, it's something that I talk to my players, and I encourage them to enroll in some of the courses that we offer in terms of coaching because there's opportunity, man. There's just opportunity in the game, and if you I took this job and in part because I just really want to provide an opportunity for young ladies to get into the game, love the game, develop a passion for it, and pass that along. Go back to their local community and try to be that next person, that next coach. We all have a coach that played a big role in our lives,
Right.
inspired us in one way or another. And so like you said, I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about the women's game right now, man. I'm really excited about it. I've always been interested in it. My older sister was a great ball player, and somebody I really looked up to as an athlete.
Good.
And so, she just let me know, man, like, girls can ball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true.
don't
100%.
sleep on it.
100%.
And
If you give them the opportunity, they'll take over. And that's
up.
one of the reasons why we actually did New York Cup, because it's like, okay, we want to do more for women in basketball. I actually have my AAU program, Bronx Storm, that I have women coaches. One of my daughter is one of my coaches. She's 19 and she's coaching the 16 and under boys.
I've been seeing that a lot, man. That's fantastic. I got a close friend, Katie Wentworth, out at Seward, down at Seward Park. She's been coaching the men. Up here, I got a coach, a New Paltz middle school coach. She's coaching the boys, and so it's great to see, man. That's breaking barriers. That's tip your cap to these young ladies.
What do you have on your coaching staff? Is just you right now, or?
Right now it's me. I have an assistant, Jonah Kaminer. He's a young fellow out of the city. He's up here. He's taking care of his graduate work. He's like our glue, man. He was a fantastic. When I took the program over, he stayed on and just kind of bridged the gap for me. And has really been a resource that I've depended on, and just a stand-up young guy. So I just want to shout out Coach Kaminer.
That's perfect. Now your returning players, is there any piece that's missing? That okay? Do you always play with your bigs? Do you always play with more guard play? Do you more shooting, more offense than defense? What's your style like?
Unfortunately, last year I didn't really have. I guess I didn't really have the tools I would have liked to in terms of.
What was your first year?
Play. So I think ultimately, and my players taught me a lot, man. I really have a lot of respect for the girls that I ended up finishing the season with. There was a time where I felt like we had to kind of hide some of our defensive deficiencies by going into a zone, and that really was the wrong move. And at a certain point in the season, my assistant stepped to me, and we decided to go to a man. Excuse me, I've been trying to call it lady to lady because there's no man out there. So lady to lady defense, and but yeah, so once we got into the lady to lady defense, everybody just picked up assignments, recognized who their responsibility was, and it just taught me a little something in terms of like. You don't
let them play.
You don't know though. You know what I mean? Like, and it brought out a little bit of, some energy and some, I guess, commitment to locking up your defender that we had been missing. So, I'm a defense first coach, but I also like to get out and run. I like to get.
You have a bunch of shooters. You have shooters.
We have a couple of shooters. Unfortunately, we're going to lose one of our better shooters. She's graduating, moving on to. Hopefully, she's going to go up and play up at Binghamton. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. So we're in search, man. We're short a little bit everywhere, and that's not to knock my girls that I got coming back, but we can use a ball handler. We could use a shooter. We could always use a big.
True.
But we like to get up and down the court. We're building some, some principles. You know what I'm saying? That we talk.
Right.
I was listening to one of the interviews. I think you did with Coach Banks. Bunk maybe.
Bunk. Yeah. Bunk. Trainer. Yep.
And he was talking about the just the language. Having your players understand the language, and I'm trying to get to a point where I don't have to work on a ton of fundamental stuff, and we can get into a little more depth. And so we're moving in that direction. Good. Again, we're looking to bring in some young ladies. that can help us on that journey. But yeah, we're getting
Okay. Have you? This is your second season now. Did you do any open gyms or clinics, anything like that? Well, last year for this.
Yeah, we had been running some open gyms last summer.
Okay.
Again, the turnout wasn't great. Shout out to FDR. We had some
Mm.
girls coming all across the river from FDR. They
Good.
got a nice program over there. Some of the younger players, actually, 8th grade, 9th grade, coming out, trying to just run, picking up. And you got to love that, man. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
8th, 9th grader showing up, looking to
Yeah.
run with, you got to love that.
They want to
So,
get better. That's just, they
yes,
know, like, okay, that's about 3 years I'll be there. So let me,
yeah, nah, I love
Okay.
it. I love it. And to be honest, she probably won't be there. You know what I mean? They're that hungry. They're somebody else is gonna scoop them girls
True.
up.
True.
But there's a ton of opportunity. There's we talk about just getting into the program, getting to know the girls, and then
Right.
looking to try to, like I said, looking to try to get them out the door, man. Looking to try to get them to their next destination. Again, incurring the least amount of debt. Like, it's something I come back to. You really got to evaluate what what the cost, and this is for girls who aren't catching those scholarships, those D1 rides. You know what I'm saying?
True.
There's a ton of players out there that, for the lack of a better word, just not making wise financial decisions in terms of.
Well, here's the downside to that. It's
Talk to me.
parents. And it's the parents and it's their friends where their friend is going. And
Yeah.
Coach Moore just reminded me, FDR actually played in our New York Cup last summer.
Oh man,
So,
them girls can play,
Yeah.
man. Them girls can play. Shout out to that program. They
Um,
steady put girls out there.
We have a situation where you have a lot of parents who everyone wants to get a free ride.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can go to UConn. Not everybody can go to the Ohio States and stuff. Not everybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So as a coach, and I've said this, I forgot who I was saying it to. We have to know where our player can go. Now, the position you're in, you're middle ground to a point. They're only coming to you for a 2-year window,
Mm-hmm.
a 1 to 2 year window. So you got to kind of help them segue into whatever school they're going into. Now, this is only your second season, so you're only losing one from last year. You said, right?
2 girls.
2 girls. Are they both going off to play ball, or we don't?
No,
we don't know?
no. One of them is going to SUNY New Paltz, just to pursue some academics.
Okay.
And we're hoping that there's some dialogue with the Brockport coach.
Mm-hmm.
So other player may be going up there to play ball. We ended up finishing the season really short on numbers, and
Okay.
part of that was, we had some issues that we kind of had to iron out. We had to kind of establish, my assistant coach and myself had to kind of just establish, what it
culture.
is. Yeah, we
Basically
had to
a culture.
establish our
Yeah.
culture, man. We had to really, and again, I'll be critical of myself and say that, there were some things that I had to kind of get, just get comfortable with. And,
Right.
and we had to, so it could have, our end result could have been a little different.
Uh-huh.
But I really don't regret, how things shaped up. And again, I commend my players, for playing as hard as they did. We ended up the season, with, really short, thin roster, and some girls battled through some injuries and just kind of kept it plugging so that we could make sure that we, finished up.
Well, here's the thing. It's like you got to take the credit for one thing. You kept their spirit up. Whoever stayed, you kept their spirit up.
Yeah.
Through injury or whatever, you kept their spirit and kept their love for the game. That's one of the conversations that we've been having over the past few interviews, of having the young ladies love the game, not only as a player, but as a coach, an assistant coach, a head coach, a referee, athletic director. They have to love the game in the sport of basketball. If you can do that, then you did your job, at least part of your job.
Yeah.
You helped them with that. Again, when we talk about looking for players, looking for talent, do you have a specific like college, Catholic high school, public school,
Nah,
AAU
man.
programs only, anything like that?
I ain't discriminating, man. I'm not discriminating. We're trying to get any type of player up here with some skill, some talent,
Okay.
some girls that are trying to utilize. We talk about utilizing the game or using the game to your advantage and not letting the game use you. So we just really, again, I'm trying to build relationships, with coaches in just about every borough. I'm trying to reach out.
Gotcha.
If I see somebody making some waves, and to be honest, it may not be the top, the top recruit out of a high school. It may be the third or fourth player that is the right fit for for us and for them, for that student athlete. So when I talk about the value of Ulster, that really goes for the majority of the community colleges. I don't want to turn my message off to anyone who Ulster may not be the fit for them, but you have to really just kind of evaluate. Okay, I'm getting through these 60 credits. At the end of these 60 credits, which are typically gen eds, your 101s, your classes that you can do at the community college, you're going to be in a class size that's going to probably be a max of 20, 25 students. So you're not going to be in this huge room with 100 kids. You're going to get that relationship with your professor. What I found in my own college
some kids
experience.
may need that.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I knew I needed it. I knew I needed it as a student. You go back and I look at my experience at Ulster and at New Paltz, and not to knock New Paltz, but what I found was that at Ulster, a lot of these professors are there for a really long time. At some of the 4-year schools, you'll notice there's a trend where these schools employ, they're not making their faculty full time. The adjunct professors. Adjunct professors not getting paid a ton.
He's not gonna stay long.
Not as invested. Not as concerned of. And again, that's not to knock some of these 4-year schools, but
understood.
I just think that there's value, there's connection to be made. There's and again, this is a lot of my personal experience, but that's really what I can go off of.
Well, I tell you this much. Right now, Coach Eddie from SUNY Purchase, you and him got to talk. He said he said I came a little late to the party, but y'all got to connect. So
nice.
This, you and Coach Eddie hook up.
Yeah,
and talk.
I checked out his interview yesterday, and it was great, man. It was great.
And yeah, that's my boy. He's a good dude. So whatever you got, remember you got a 2-year window, you got a 4-year window, so y'all can work something out.
That's it, man, and that's what it's about. Building those relationships, building them pipelines. Being able to and it was nice to see the coach of Monroe talk, Brian Williams. He's done such a great job that, like he said, he don't even his girls, just because they with him, they getting off. People don't even need to see those girls play. They just know the caliber. They know the name. They know the caliber. They know what to expect. And so, I'm trying to emulate some of those things. And I got a long way to go, but it's one day at a time, one step at a time.
But your mindset is right. That's the good part about it. Your mindset is like, okay, I know what I need to do to take my next couple of steps without falling on my face. So your mindset is right. So that's the good part.
Appreciate that.
With your practices, do you beat them up in practice? Do you let them kind of let's do more cardio, let's do some more strengthening, let's do some more shots? What is your practicing like? So
this year was a little unique, and hopefully it won't be I guess a pattern, but we were so thin that we had to kind of, as the coaches, we had to kind of reevaluate how we wanted to, how much we could really do, because we couldn't afford to lose anybody. We couldn't. Typically you got 12, 15 girls in a roster. Boom, get out there. You competing, scrapping. Saying? Somebody gets hurt. It's kind of just how the cookie crumbles.
Somebody steps up, right?
The next person steps up. We had to kind of take a little bit different of an approach. And just making sure that we're maintaining our health and that we're, nursing whatever injuries we had, just to try to survive. This year really was about surviving, getting through the season in one piece, and then we're trying to hopefully look to get our numbers up so that we can kind of get back to a little bit more of a a little bit more of a competitive practice.
The tell me the conference that you guys are in.
So we're in Region 15. Our conference we'll play Westchester, Rockland, Orange, Sullivan.
Okay.
Those are the schools in our conference. But we'll get down to play the Bronx. We'll get down to play Queensboro. We'll play Dutchess right across the river. They're not in our conference, but we'll see them, a couple times a year.
So a couple of those will be non-conference ones, or that would be
it would be a non-conference game.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Sullivan's really, Sullivan and Orange are really the stronger of the schools that we'll face. And again, you try to emulate some of the stuff that they're doing. I mean, the coach at Sullivan, Derek Marchion, I hope I'm saying his name right. He gets some tremendous players to come up to his program, and they have a little bit of a they have dorms up there, so it's a little bit easier. Some of the stuff I have to do is try to, and we kind of have the ball rolling with that, but you have to talk people through that process.
You really got to sell.
Yeah,
you got to have your marketing degree and your antenna up. Like I need to know what they looking for, what this player is looking for.
Yeah, so he's done a great job of getting down to the city. He's got the Britt twins out of Staten Island, Adriana Graves out of I think it was Harlem, and then Infinity Hammond out of Mount Vernon. So he gets down there, and that program's been pulling girls up, from the tri-state area, and really been successful. So you try to emulate some of those things.
Good.
Really, I tip my cap to them. They really run a tough program over there, and we're trying to. He gave me a tremendous compliment at the end of the season. And he just said that, regardless of what the score was, your team was playing. You played hard.
That's all that counts.
The game was probably over scoreboard wise after the first 10 minutes, but my girls competed the whole time. And he said, we don't see that often. We've blown teams out, and it stops after the first 10 minutes. So he gave me a nice compliment, and I appreciate that. And so you're just really trying to take a page out of their book, in terms of connecting with different coaches down in that area.
So now, are you doing? How much communication are you doing with your players now? Your present players, and even the 4 or 5 that's coming. Are you doing a lot of Zoom clinics, anything like that?
Yeah, we're getting on a Zoom call. We're trying to once a week.
Okay.
A couple of the girls, like I said, are working, so it's tough to manage those schedules.
Right.
And I was, really looking forward to getting into the gym. Obviously, this thing is kind of throwing everybody off, but some of the girls could have really utilized this time. So it's frustrating. It's tough. But
sorry. Are they at least doing any cardio on their own, doing their own workouts in the house?
Yeah,
as far as you know.
I hope so, man.
Okay, yeah. As far as you know.
I hope so. No, I hope so. We and a lot of it's some ball handling stuff. Just getting that rock out, getting your work.
You don't need a hoop for that.
You don't need a hoop for that.
Yeah.
And so getting out, getting some cardio in. It's tough. I ran my mile today, but it's tough, man. Running without a basketball just ain't running. It just ain't the same. I'm saying? I'm not one of those guys who runs a ton, but I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to stay in shape and lead by example.
I was gonna say, okay, so now coach is healthy, coach is doing the thing. So now you started coaching because of your kids, because they were doing something at rec center, or what put that in you to make you start coaching?
Well, it's tough, man. You go to watch something, and if you don't necessarily agree with what you're watching and what you're seeing, you can't really say nothing unless you're willing to get involved, or you're willing.
Okay.
And so that was something that came to, and again, not to knock anybody, but I just I felt like I could do for my own kids, and then for for their classmates, and people in our community. I had 2 great coaches, Jeff Hartman and John McCormick. They took our CYO teams, Don Bosco tournaments, Newcastle tournaments. We were down in Yonkers every weekend. We traveled. I think in 8th grade, think we played like 90 something games,
Ooh.
you know, as an 8th grade CYO team. And that's, you know, that's all just what those guys were putting into, you know,
True.
they ain't
True.
getting no money out of that. There was no, you know, they're just looking to get us exposure to play against, you know, better quality competition. And once we beat, you know, teams in our area, you
Right.
know, we had to travel. We had, and fortunately for us, you know, for me and my teammates, you know, we were able to, you know, to compete at these tournaments that, you know, most other schools or, you know, area programs weren't getting down to compete against. So, you know,
Well, you wanted to play. You and your teammates back then wanted to play.
oh man,
90 games? That's a lot of games, man.
oh, it was
It's a
great,
lot of games. I mean, you're doing basically what, 12 games a week?
man.
No, 10, 12,
We
something like that?
it was nonstop. They were breaking us out of school early on Thursday, Fridays. We were jumping down in the whip, going down to the city, and just competing, man. We played against some teams and some players that, you know, I wish we had social media back then, because you could have followed them and you could have kind of
I was
tracked
gonna
their
say,
progress.
right?
You know, it's a little
Yeah.
different. It's a little different now, but
And it's funny, we have two coaches. First, Coach Eddie had said, you're gonna know who on day one you have when your players come back from day one.
that's a
If they did
fact.
any kind of training, any kind of workout, any kind of anything.
That is a
And Coach,
fact.
Coach Linda said that hopefully the coaches aren't in better shape than the players. You know,
It's
look,
debatable. It's debatable.
see, that's the thing. You got it's like if
Oh,
you have
man.
all these players coming back, it's like, okay, look, let's work this out. You know, we
Yeah.
got to play. You know,
Yeah, definitely, man. I just can't wait to get back into the gym. I'm hoping things kind of smooth over sooner than later. Because
do they at least have the energy that I mean, like you said, that energetic feel that you put in them, and the other coach noticed it and they didn't give up. Okay, that's great. But with this break now, this unfortunate break, are they at least if you're conversing with them, pushing them and say, hey, let's get this workout, because if you say, hey, we got a gym set Sunday afternoon, everybody's off, let's go. You'll find out immediately, oh shoot, what's coach talking about? I'm not ready for this. You know?
Nah, 100%. You know, 100%. We're again, you know, the type of player that I'm trying to attract is somebody that, you know, that wants to get out there, that I don't have to twist their arm, that, you know, they already got some shots up. They already worked on something. So, you know, we're moving in that direction. You know, we really are.
Because it's you know, like with me and some of the coaches down here, you know, we don't know if school's going to kick in. So I'm a JV coach at Cardinal Spellman now, and I'm looking at some of the players, but I'm also coach at St. Teresa 7th and 8th grade girls. So I'm looking at both sides, looking at, okay, are you guys working out? Because when you go to high school coaches won't give a damn about you. They don't want to know your name, don't want to know your parents yet. How are you bringing something to the table? Now I know that the same thing with college was times 10. You know, because a lot of my college coach friends are like, if they're not coming to the table ready, why would we even look at them? And you're in a situation that you're almost saying you need bodies.
Yeah, now to be honest, I do. You know, I'll be frank with you. I need bodies. You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff that basketball wise I can't even get into without the bodies. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, first and foremost, I need to attract some players to come up here. And you know, it's just you know, I talk about the value, I talk about the quality of life in our area.
Right.
You know, it's just, I think it's just really you know, a place that's close enough to the city that you can get back to if you're, you know, if you're homesick, you're not feel. It's close enough where your parents, if they want to shoot up and come up to a game, can.
Right. Or if you want to make it back home, do your laundry real quick.
Exactly. You know, it's
get a home cooked meal.
Yes. You know, it's again, we're excited about the program. My coach and I, Coach Kamner, you know, we have our work cut out for us, but we're looking, and like you said, I think I have the right attitude in terms of what it is my mission is, and
that's the beginning, you know, right there, Coach. That's all I can say. That's the beginning.
You know, it's you know, obviously I love the game of basketball, but I recognize there's more to life than basketball. you know, and I just want to make sure that when the girls come to play for me, they recognize that I'm in their corner. I'm looking to get them to their next phase in life. Again, I come back to it, and this is something I kind of harp on. Is just doing it in a way that makes the most financial sense for them. And my wife, because this is what I'm going through. We're going through paying off your student loans.
Yeah.
You know, my wife and I are saving to buy a house. You know, we're in a position where we're dealing with some of these. I guess some of these mistakes or some of these missteps that we made along the way. And so as a coach or as an advisor, or as a person in a position that I'm in, I just really want to communicate that if you're looking at some of these things, you can avoid some of these mistakes.
True.
You can
You're an employee at the school as well, besides just a coach. What else do you do? Or do you have a regular quote unquote 9 to 5?
No, right now I'm actually not. I have applied for a couple positions there. We'll keep our fingers
Good.
crossed.
I pray you get that.
But the last couple of years I've been home with my son. He's 4, so he's getting ready to get back into get into kindergarten at some point. Coming up, and then I'll look to get back into the workforce a little more full time.
Okay.
I've been working at a youth shelter over in Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, River Haven Youth Shelter for a handful of years. That actually was the first job I got after I transferred from Ulster to New Paltz, and when I started in New Paltz to the Human Services degree sociology program, one of the internships I had was at this River Haven Youth Shelter. So that's kind of that's along the lines of like just helping students navigate those phases. And it just sometimes it seems like overwhelming or kind of like abstract. How am I going to get to this place? And it's like if you just follow this path, you'll get there.
Yeah,
you'll
be fine.
You'll come up on it and utilize these resources. I think there's a ton of students that just don't recognize what's available to them in terms of resources, and in terms of help, and getting into the English lab, getting help working on your papers. They break it down. You know what I mean? They'll really break it down and get you ready for that next phase.
Cool. It's student athletes. They got to learn. Man. That's first. Now let me tell you something. This is what I need you to do.
Talk to me.
We're gonna save this, so I want you to do me one more time. Give me your info again. Not me, but give your info again for people to touch base with you, because I know they'll either touch base with me or Coach Mo, but I want them to get it directly from you. What's your email again?
Thank you. My email is Morales, OMORALES, at SUNYUlster.edu. You can hit me on the gram, Ulster_W_basketball. Perfect. If you don't mind, Coach, I'd love to shout out just a couple people that have
go ahead. Do that.
Helped me out. Our boy Job Say, this is actually a good friend of our assistant coaches, Sculptletics. He's down in the city working with players. Feel free to hit him up. The SUNY New Paltz program, I don't know if you know anything about that, the D3 program. Jamie Seward and Coach Darren Jackson over there. They run a phenomenal program, and they're another program that I'm looking to emulate, and just kind of following their footsteps.
Perfect.
They've had a ton of success in the SUNYAC. They steady pulling girls up there that can ball.
Nice.
Ace Awareness Athletics. Shout out to him. Rohan Johnson, Rhoda Trainer, Tay Fisher camps. Tay Fisher's a Harlem Globetrotter. He runs a phenomenal camp up in the Kingston area, and actually a camp at SUNY Ulster. Such a good camp that it's like makes me doubt whether or not I should get my camp going, because he's got his thing ironed out, man. Shout out to Tay Fisher.
Not a problem.
The Pumas Playmaker Academy across the river there. Coach Kenny does his thing. 845 Elite out in Middletown, they do their thing.
You sound like you got a lot of support there, Coach. You're good, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to network, man. I'm just trying to get out there and show some homage. I'm trying to share this platform that you're sharing with me. So it's like a
Not a problem.
I appreciate you. Just
Thank
wanted to
you.
shout some of those guys out. Katie Wentworth out at Seward. I seen
Hmm.
somebody in the comments say Coach Katie doing her thing.
Yes, yes,
I saw that.
yes. That was
Yeah.
Mike Lloyd. Mike Lloyd said it. Coach Mike Lloyd from
Oh
ML
man,
Gator. Yeah,
funny,
Brooklyn on Tech.
quick funny story about Katie. First time she was friends with her family friends with somebody in my neighborhood. So kids
Uh-huh.
came to. I'm already in 8th, 9th grade. So they say, "Yo, this girl's balling down the street. I come check her out." I go down there. The hoop's a little lower. She's playing this, this young kid from around the way. She gets a little in and out, rises up one hand and
Yeah.
boofs it on him. And
Nice.
it was just an introduction that you'll never forget. Shout out to Coach
That's
Katie.
nice. Well, look, I'm glad we spent this time. I'm
Thank you,
glad we had this
Coach.
time. We're going to go right back. Coach Mo is going to go with Coach Harrison from Lehman College right after this. So check back in with that.
Wonderful.
Everybody's on this. Get some more info on this. And again, good luck with you. Good luck with the program. Anything you need, you can hit us up at any way you can. No problem. We're here for you. Okay.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You
No worries.
running a great program. Looking to connect with all you guys. Appreciate
Yes,
it,
indeed.
man.
Yes, indeed. You have a great night. Enjoy your weekend and be safe. Okay.
Likewise. Take care.
Take
Be
care.
safe.
Good night.
Good night.
Ooh, just got.